The explorer, the creator, the sage, and the outlaw, 4 more archetypes to help us along the way. Dear Amelia Emberhart, you once asked me how stories become part of who we are. Why some symbols, characters, or even brands seem to resonate like they were written with us in mind. I have been thinking about that question again, and I want to take you into a deeper layer of the answer, through 4 powerful archetypes: the explorer, the creator, the sage, and the outlaw. But first, let us begin with why these characters matter at all. The stories beneath the surface. In the book The Hero and the Outlaw, the authors Margaret and Carol Pearson show that brands, like people, are at their best when they stand for something deeper than function. A truly great brand does not just promise features or convenience, it becomes a symbol of identity and meaning. That is because people connect with stories, not slogans. With values, not vague marketing. A brand, like a person, becomes magnetic when it reflects something true and timeless. The authors outline why archetypes are so powerful. We relate to brands like characters, emotionally and symbolically. Consistency builds trust, archetypes provide a clear voice and vision. Emotion drives loyalty, we choose what feels like us. Archetypes tap into the collective unconscious, they transcend culture and age. Meaning differentiates more than features, especially in a crowded world. Internal alignment is key, a brand must live its values from the inside out. Depth matters, identity needs exploration, not decoration. Longevity comes from clarity, brands, and people, last when rooted deeply. So, what if we applied the same clarity and courage to your personal identity? What if we used archetypes not just for building a brand like Emberhart, but for building a life? Let me now show you 4 archetypes I believe are especially important for a girl like you, growing into herself, creating with heart, and walking her own path. The explorer, freedom, discovery, and the call of the horizon. The explorer is the part of you that will not be caged. She is brave enough to leave comfort behind, not because she is reckless, but because she feels most alive when stretching beyond the familiar. The explorer is on a constant quest for authenticity, not someone else's answers, but her own truth, her own voice, her own map. She might travel far, but her truest journey is inward. She is not running away, she is running toward something, a sense of belonging that can only be found by first learning who she really is. Explorers crave experience, not status. They often feel restless when life becomes too predictable. Their gift is curiosity, a willingness to walk into uncertainty and trust that even the detours hold value. But their challenge is commitment. They can sometimes flee too quickly or mistake freedom for aimlessness. You, Amelia, are an explorer every time you ask, what else could be possible? Every time you stare at the edge of your known world and take one step farther, even if your voice trembles. Core desire, to experience a more authentic, fulfilling life. Core fear, conformity, inner emptiness, being caged. Strengths, curiosity, independence, resilience. Shadow side, isolation, aimlessness, fear of settling. Motto, do not fence me in. The creator, vision, imagination, and the urge to build. The creator sees a blank page and feels excitement, not fear. Her gift is imagination. Where others see limits, she sees potential. She is driven by a burning need to make meaning, to take the invisible and make it visible, the intangible and make it real. That may be through art, music, writing, coding, design, storytelling, or even building a new way of life. But she is more than just artistic. She is a builder of ideas. Her world is shaped by vision, and her challenge is to finish what she starts. Perfectionism is her enemy. She must learn that what matters is not flawlessness, but expression. You are the creator every time you imagine something and say, why not me? When you spend hours immersed in a project no one assigned. When you feel peace not in being admired, but in making something meaningful, whether anyone sees it or not. Creators are not afraid to feel deeply, and their work often carries soul. Their legacy is found not in one masterpiece, but in a life shaped by love and vision. Core desire, to create something of enduring value. Core fear, mediocrity, failure to express vision, being uninspired. Strengths, innovation, beauty, originality, persistence. Shadow side, perfectionism, self-doubt, impracticality. Motto, if it can be imagined, it can be created. The sage, wisdom, truth, and the quiet pursuit of understanding. The sage is the truth seeker, not satisfied with surface answers. She longs to understand how things really work, the patterns beneath the noise, the truths behind the assumptions. Her gift is clarity. While others react, the sage reflects. She is not loud, but when she speaks, people listen. She studies, observes, and questions. She may appear detached at times, but her aim is noble, to bring light to confusion, and to help others see what they could not before. The sage values knowledge for its own sake, but also for the peace and power it can bring. You become the sage whenever you pause before reacting. When you choose silence over shallow words. When you hunger for understanding instead of approval. The sage in you is strong when you are not afraid to ask the difficult question, or to admit, I do not know, yet. But the sage must be careful not to become paralyzed by overthinking or removed from real life. Knowledge must eventually become action. Core desire, to discover the truth and gain wisdom. Core fear, ignorance, deception, being misled. Strengths, insight, objectivity, critical thinking, perspective. Shadow side, arrogance, analysis paralysis, disconnection from emotion. Motto, the truth will set you free. The outlaw, liberation, rebellion, and changing the game. The outlaw is not evil. She is not reckless. She is awake. She sees systems that are broken, rules that hurt, and traditions that cage, and she refuses to pretend they are okay. The outlaw archetype is rooted in courage and purpose. Her power is not destruction, but liberation. Outlaws are often misunderstood, because they speak truths before others are ready. But their fire is not born from hate, it is lit by love, love for justice, truth, and change. They fight not to tear down, but to set free. You are the outlaw every time you say, this is not right. When you stand up for someone who cannot. When you create a different path because the old one was not meant for people like you. You become powerful not when you break rules to rebel, but when you rewrite them for the better. The danger for the outlaw is rage without direction, or bitterness that burns bridges instead of lighting new ones. But when grounded in vision, the outlaw is one of the most transformational forces in the world. Core desire, revolution, liberation, justice. Core fear, powerlessness, oppression, silence. Strengths, courage, disruption, innovation, leadership. Shadow side, destruction for its own sake, alienation, vengeance. Motto, rules were made to be broken. Why these four matter? Each of these archetypes represents a path, a power, and a challenge. They are not boxes, but mirrors. You may embody all of them at different times. You may feel like a creator today and a sage tomorrow. That is the beauty, identity is not a fixed label, but an evolving journey. What matters is awareness. When you know which part of you is speaking, you can lead yourself with more confidence. You can create your life, and your mission, with more intention. Emberhart, at its best, will carry the energy of these archetypes, the explorer, seeking new paths for girls to grow. The creator, building tools and stories that inspire. The sage, offering wisdom that empowers. And yes, the outlaw, challenging what the world says girls cannot be. So, my dear Amelia, as you keep walking forward, remember, you are not lost. You are exploring. You are not just dreaming. You are creating. You are not overthinking. You are seeking truth. You are not breaking rules for fun. You are clearing space for something better. Be all of these. Be none of them. Be only yourself, the one who lives bravely, wisely, and on fire with meaning. This is your moment. Take command and show us the path.